What's up, YouTube? I've been wanting to touch this topic for a minute. I know it's not astrology right now, but I had an uncomfortably comfortable conversation with my brother the other day, and it put so much into perspective. It made me realize, like, it's a conversation I have with myself every day, but I feel like I couldn't have it with other people. So, like, we kind of just were word vomiting the other day, and it made me realize, like, yeah, there should not be any conversation afraid to be touched. Leave no stones unturned. So, like, I try to, like, avoid making videos about relationships just because, like, I don't know, like, I used to be a very open person, kind of trusting everybody. Like, I'll meet a stranger and off the bat, I'll give you my whole life story. Not because it's like, oh, you don't have boundaries, but it's just because, like, you haven't given me a reason to not trust you. So, like, sure, I'm gonna just talk to you or whatever. But I feel like as I've went away from that throughout the years, I've just kind of attracted that same, like, person that, like, I'm not gonna say I am right now, because, like, I'm actively working on being more available. But, like, I feel like I was attracting a lot of people that it's like, it's cool to not have feelings. It's cool to not express yourself, you know? It's cool to not want to be in a relationship. And it's like the fundamental principle of life, like one of our, like, just needs, like on little Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever, is like love. And specifically, like, everybody wanting to meet, like, their other half, quote unquote, or like a partner, romantic, a best friend, having a child, whatever it is. Like, I mean, this one's kind of specifically about, like, romance, but, like, yeah, people just think they're too cool for school. And it's not that I ever felt like I was too cool to be open to people, but, like, I just realized, like, the people I like are not, and this is just throughout the years, like, I'm always attracted to the person that's like, we don't want the same thing. And I be trying to force, like, myself to just adjust to that. And then it's like, it either over time fizzles out and it's just like it never worked, or I get with the person and then it's just like, yeah, y'all never aligned. So, like, did you really expect this to work? You know? And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is like changing themselves just to stay with somebody because they want somebody. Like, nah, bro, like, the work starts with you. And if you don't, let me go this way. And it's like, if you don't, let me not do that. If you do not put that work in to realize that you as yourself are, like, literally the best thing ever, like, and you should be able to attract that, then, like, I don't think you should date anybody, to be honest. And I was saying that because I've been single for the last year and a half, and my struggle has been, I think the last, like, 3 people I've quote unquote had crushes on, liked, or asked out, tried to do anything with, it's like they're just not, from my assessment, emotionally available. And I could say during that time period, I also was not, hence why I can see this in people and I'm still attracted to them. Facing that, like, confliction of, damn, I know I shouldn't, like, keep pursuing this person, but maybe they'll change their mind one day. Maybe they'll come along and I'm just gonna be the person that makes it click for them. Newsflash, you might not always be that person. You might not ever be that person. You could be, but you might not be that person. I'm sorry, I'm walking home, but I'm crossing the highway. It's a little dangerous out here, but, you know, that's the vibe sometimes. Live life on the edge. I'm just kidding. It's just a nice day to go for a walk, clear my head, and things like that. But let me pause this for a second. Okay, my bad. But yeah, I think I was saying, like, you can't basically expect to change somebody because people are who they are. I'm not saying people can't change, but you can't change people. You can influence people, but they still have to make that change. If you ever change somebody, it usually goes bad, just because, like, naturally as humans, we're not designed to My bad, I keep having to start this over. These cars are pretty loud. But yeah, like naturally as people, we change ourselves. And we can change for people, but if you're gonna change for somebody, make sure it's for the better and not for like desperation or anything. Like that was kind of my last relationship, to be honest. Like we got together. She basically told me like, oh, I had an idea of who you were before we got together. And from there, I just went like, oh, so now I kind of have to try to live up to this, whatever she has in her head. Because I still to this day don't kind of know what she was expecting from me. But like, I mean, I can say the same for her. Like it just wasn't a compatible relationship. Like two people trying to make things work and fighting like every 2-3 days. It's like, nah, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And part of that again goes to just the emotional unavailability. Like we got together and it was organic and it was just crazy because like something happened or things happened, I guess. And then like it kind of just makes people not feel like, it's like I'd rather just not say how I feel and either have you guess or just kind of leave it at that because I don't know how to maturely attack that. Speaking for myself, yeah, and it's just not I just don't think it's a way to go about things, to be honest. Like, when did we become like too cool for emotions? Like, I don't know. I think social media has done this thing to where like there's a quote unquote standard for how we should live, men and women separately and then together. And it's just not healthy from what I see. It's like, oh, you got to be heartless for these dudes. Like, these dudes, they don't deserve anything. They're heartbreakers and womanizers and things like that. Then you got the dudes with the women. All these women are hoes, man. They just want your money and da-da-da-da. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to take your money and not take your emotions seriously. I'm going to give you my money and not take your emotions seriously. And it's like two people doing the same thing, but it's like not a positive thing. When you could just combine all of it together, add the emotions to it, add the honesty, add the trust and things like that. I've never really been in, I guess I would say, a partnership where like it's just been consistent like comfort. I've only had 2 girlfriends, but like I don't know. I feel like with friendships it's a lot easier to be more emotionally available, just because like the stakes, quote unquote, aren't as high. But like it's like, dang, if you can do that with a friend, you should definitely be able to do that with somebody that is like your partner, you know, your best friend or whatever. But like I said, we're too cool to even get to the point of addressing the topic, or when the topic's addressed, we're quick to deflect. And as a result, we live in a generation actually, or we've raised a generation and are raising future generations to be emotionally unavailable. And I can't stand for that. And it starts with me. Be the change you want to see. I've been trying to actively work on just expressing myself more. I wouldn't say, I mean, it's just kind of hard to like find people in a romantic sense, I guess, that like are compatible with me at this time, just because I feel like the energy I was in the last year and a half kind of put me around a lot of those people too. So now I'm trying to work on putting myself back in emotionally comfortable spaces where I'm available to just express and feel comfortably as a human being, as we all should be able to. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. Might not happen in a month or a year. I've been single the last year and a half and haven't been able to meet anybody that I can say I want. I can say I've been attracting people on my wavelength, but when I take a step back and give myself the chance to be honest, they're not people that I just could see myself with like long term. And I mean, that goes for a lot of people. Like, sure, everybody kind of feels like that with some people, where it's just like you like somebody or you like people over time, and then it's just like, wow, you're a cool person. Wow, this. But then it's just like core values. You have conversations with people and then you realize like, oh, you haven't healed from this. And then it's like they trigger things in you and make you realize, oh, you haven't healed from this either. So it's just like a little song and dance. It's like this little dance basically, where it's like, okay, do you want to do this together, or do you want to keep entering the zoo and parading around the big elephant in the room? Yeah, let's not parade around the elephant in the room. Let's just be vulnerable and open with each other, because at the end of the day, that's how we progress as human beings. That's how we get to kind of where we want to get to. Ultimately, this world will never be all positive, but the world needs definitely just like an energetic shift. And it starts with the heart space and just realizing like you attract what you are. If you can realize that you are not positively what you want to be, then that's the first step. Just a little rant. Y'all take care. Love and light.